The Sixers are not going to be giving Tyrese Maxey an extension just yet. Report is to give us more flexibility to possibly clear a pathway to bring in a max player next summer. What are your guys' thoughts on this whole thing?
I mean, I think Maxey's going to get his deal. I think just waiting, when he hits free agency, he just has a lower cap hold. So then you're able to bring in another player because higher salaried player because he has, a lower cap hold.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he's a restricted free agent, which means you can match any deal. I don't think it'll come down to them having to match his deal, but the team sort of still has the advantage with that. So I think it gets done with him. I just think it's a strategic thing, and maybe something, hopefully that's been communicated to him and his people that, hey, maybe let's work this out for next year and
work with this year.
Here's why,
Yeah.
So, I don't even know if that's legal to do that, but I assume that it's been some, I believe Rich is his agent.
Yeah.
That it's been some form of communication, because if you're Rich Paul and they're just like, no, we're not signing your guy. This guy putting up 20 plus numbers a game and one of the third best record in the league, and you like, what's going on here? So it's some form of communication going on there.
Yeah. I think it is literally just to have flexibility to be able to sign someone for next year. There's a lot of good free agents out there too. If we do clear our cap, but I did read because of doing this and not being extension eligible for the next year, we would lose a year on his deal, right? Is that how it works?
I'm not sure on that. I'm not necessarily sure.
Okay, I thought I read that. It'd be like
I don't think you lose a year. I mean, most of the extensions come with that don't really kick in until like another year on the current deal.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the year you're missing, that year if you wait, because he get an extension now, he still has another year next year. Sort of, you look at Jordan Poole's, like Jordan Poole signed that deal, but his deal was not kicking in until this coming season, even though he signed his deal last year.
Yeah. And then if someone else did sign him while he's restricted, we would just match anything anyway. So
yeah, that's the leverage the team has.
Yeah.
But
you don't want to piss him and his agent off either, though. That's the other part of it. So, like you said, as long as there's communication,
I think if he's getting his deal, it'll all be solved.
Yeah.
It's not like him signing the extension and him signing next year. He'll get the same amount of money. There is a risk in him playing the season and getting injured. Or are you going to still give him that deal that you would have given him in September or October?
Yeah.
That's the risk.
Yeah. I don't even want to think about that right now.
I'm just saying, from a player standpoint, you got to look at it like that.
Yep.
That's why people get the extensions, because they don't want to deal with that risk.
Yeah.
That's why most guys, it doesn't come down to when they have that option, most of them don't become free agents.
Yeah. This offseason is going to be even more exciting. It went from maybe being like cookie cutter offseason. It was just running it back, getting Harden, and then keeping our guys, as many free agents as possible on our team, to like multiple trades, three-way trades, all these different things happening with us. So it is now going to be a crazy offseason for us, I think.
Yeah.
It'll definitely make for an entertaining one.
Yeah, and we'll be here every step of the way talking about the circus.
We're going to find out immediately how it's going down.
Yeah, I think I think if it doesn't I do think if it doesn't happen in the next 24 hours, I could see it playing out a while. After he sat on Simmons for that long, a guy who wasn't even showing up, and still got.
I think it's different though, because it's James has 1 year and Ben had just signed. Yes. So and moving Ben and his deal and everything that just happened was going to be harder.
Yeah.
Whereas James in the last year of his deal is not going to be as difficult to move with that. So it's going to come down to what you're taking back. So I think it gets done before the season. If James still wants to move on, I think it gets done before the season. I don't know if it gets done this week, but it wouldn't surprise me if it gets done this week. If it gets done fairly quickly. I think because like I said, teams want to move on. So this may hold up some things.
Yeah, it's holding up our offseason for sure, don't you think?
With the moves we make, it may hold up some moves other teams make.
Totally.
So it would not surprise me if this happens fairly quickly from that standpoint.
Yeah. So, before we end the show, so you think the next time we meet on the show, will James Harden still be on the roster, or will he not be on the roster? If you had to make a smart bet, where would you be putting your money?
I would say in a week, he would probably not be a Sixer. If I had
a week, he's not. Wow.
7 to 10 days, I would say he's not.
Deja?
Coming out of summer league, I think it's a done deal. I don't think he lasts through July. Definitely.
Wow.
I think he's still with us in a week.
Damn.
I do.
You're right.
I do.
So when can players sign their deals?
I think they can start announcing today, or they can start.
So whenever players can sign their free agent deals, I think by the time that comes, we'll know where he's going. If I'm betting and guessing, yes, that's my opinion. That's what I would say.
I think if we get by the start of the new season, when it goes from the 125 rule to the 110 rule, if he's still with us, then it cuts out some of the urgency from those teams to get a deal done, because they have to send out a lot more salary to bring James back. So I think at that point, I think it would be a while. So I think if it happens, it'll happen.
Doesn't that all kick in tomorrow or the 1st?
Yeah, I think I thought it was the 30th at 6. I thought 30th at 6 p.m.
I thought it was the 1st.
Was it?
That was July 1st.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, if it's the 1st, I thought it was the 1st. If it's July 30th, the deal can be done and won't be finalized until the 30th.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the 30th or the 1st, so the next 2 days. I think if he's still with us after the 1st, I think he'll be with us for a little while. I think we're just going to ride it out and try to get the best deal possible.
Right,
I just think with the Simmons, the reason why I think it's different is the fact that we literally waited. We had all these offers, but we literally waited for Harden to ask out, and that's when we threw that Simmons trade. I mean,
I just don't. I think I'm firm on the reason why I think it is. For him to opt in, he opted in to get traded. And I don't think he's opting in to find out where he's going. And the team is like, hey, we're going to facilitate this. I don't think they're doing this to string this out for another month. I
don't think we'd like to.
I just don't see that happen. I just don't think that it holds up what teams are going to do for 30 days. That's why I said it's different than the Tobias thing, because Tobias isn't pushing for it. But I firmly believe that James, if he's not getting the deal there, he's pushing and he's pushing and he's pushing. And that's where the relationship with Morey and him may come in, because Morey will be like, dude, I know you. And you're going to sit up here and hold me like this? Yeah. I don't think that happens with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a relationship killer right there.
It's true. It really. That's why it's a weird situation. But Morey also is never one to get bullied.
I don't think he's getting bullied, but I think he don't like being called unfair.
That's also true. It's a really weird one. I think we don't,
because at the end of the day, let's be honest. Is it more of Morey made James, or is it more of James made Morey?
Yeah.
That ain't for you all to answer. It ain't for anybody to answer.
I can speculate.
But you can speculate. Yes. You can speculate.
We'll speculate all day and night.
Yeah, there you go.
I do think, because a lot of people said there's no way that this opt-in was announced without something already being in the works, even. Like something that might even be in the works. If we had a good offer with no PG, with a bunch of assets, Morey right now is probably trying to get a third team to get us who we really want. Oh, that's great, Clippers.
That's why
like your offer.
That's why I think it's going to happen.
So you think it's already like in the works?
I think it's quick because I think the parameters of it is probably already there, and they're probably I don't like this, I don't like that, kind of working out some kinks.
Let's call around, see what else we can get.
It's sort of like we were hearing that Boston was going to trade Brogdon to the Clippers and get Porzingis, and all of a sudden, that's not going to work. And then the next day they come out with Marcus Smart going to Memphis.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be like that.
Just being tinkered with.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Until next time.
Definitely going to see.